Through Ogata, thank you through law. You play joining me law this play time today again law. It's a lik talk blow you mean. I mean how much threat also you play taking this play Sunday law joining me today. Now welcome law Ogata line. Wherever you are, my greetings to you and your family and Ogata line believe me law Ogata Aplo country. Thank you through law you play sit down aran lik talk blow me. Now you make and try exchange some sample talk kiko come. Now, two law side blow me like to thank you through lo plenty questions. Plenty questions, hundreds of questions that plenty Papua New Guineans only Rait-TV na asking me lo working some lig talk land by me trying best lo answering mo the talk. But if I don't be able to cover and specifically answer your questions, by me trying lo reply lo this la page where you may talk na exchange more ideas you go come. So me how much threat also you blow viewers you work lo joining me lo got country na some of them from many parts of the world. I think this medium has been able to exercise. So good night through lo you blow got thank you through lo you blow come. Now plenty plus our slow events of the last week in Parliament. I know that this particular position that the opposition took was not widely discussed or widely known about it before we moved the motion and tried to move the motion on the floor. But we thought that having discussions directly with each of our leaders in Parliament was more relevant and more acceptable, so that if those discussions indicated that the idea to change the current Prime Minister's position, it was necessary for us to lodge that motion on the floor. So Milak Togolson, I decided to accept the proposition that I should be the nominee, largely because time is short. We have got almost 20 months to the next elections. Next elections will be held in 2027. August 2027, so almost exactly 20 months to go. But as many of you know, our country has not been doing well, and our people have been seeing the result of a government that is not able to deliver to the expectations of our people, a government that is confused, government that is making a lot of promises but not able to deliver on those promises. Plenty all good blood talk na tintin come up inside the government, but you can see that leadership is about maintaining power and not about serving the people. And that has been a concern that many citizens right throughout the country were speaking directly to their leaders or directly to opposition or directly to each other. They have expressed that they are not satisfied with the performance of the current government. As a result, it is only important that we members of Parliament continue to test what is provided for by the Constitution and by our laws of our country, to test the government's performance and government's ability to hold the government intact for managing the country or to manage the country, and we have exercised that right by introducing a motion on the floor of Parliament last Wednesday. What has transpired on Wednesday was a little bit of a situation where we in opposition have been aware that this was a possibility that the motion will be refused by the Private Business Committee. Private Business Committee is for private business of members of Parliament, especially individual backbenchers who are not ministers. On Thursdays is the day in which it is set aside for members of Parliament to introduce their own legislation or their own business to Parliament. So anything before Parliament discusses, it must go through this committee, and this committee must say, okay, we agree that this particular motion or particular agenda item be placed on the notice paper for next day on Thursday. So of course, early in the morning, just before 10 o'clock, the opposition delivered a motion signed by close to 20 plus MPs to the Speaker of Parliament to deliberate and the standing orders and the Constitution allows that the committee can only meet at lunchtime on Wednesdays, not any other day. So that meeting was convened on Wednesday, and it was chaired by the Speaker, and the Speaker in turn invited all the other members, and the members of that committee are all members of Pangu Party. It's supposed to be a balanced bipartisan committee, but in this instance it's all dominated by Pangu. So obviously, as expected, they rejected the motion. They discussed the motion. So on Wednesday, in light of previous Supreme Court decisions, the Speaker and the members on Wednesday agreed, as far as we are aware, agreed that the motion should be placed on the notice paper on Thursday. After the meeting has been concluded, the Prime Minister visited the Speaker. Marape visited the Speaker's office, sat there for a few hours, and discussing this matter with the Speaker. Now, Prime Minister himself is not a member of that committee, and him having to discuss this matter with the Speaker is highly irregular as well. But of course, they sat for a few hours discussing this particular matter, and as a result of that, the Speaker then convened another meeting on Thursday morning. Saying that there's a continuation of the meeting of the Wednesday lunch meeting that they had. In fact, the lunch meeting has already passed, as far as I'm concerned, have already passed the resolution to list the matter on Thursday. The matter was not listed on Thursday on a notice paper, and of course, Speaker decided to hold another round of meetings, and this time convinced the members that although it has met all the other requirements that is expected of a motion, that these 5 requirements that the Supreme Court has declared that should be met by any motion that's been introduced. The Speaker said it was, when he announced the decision, he said those conditions were met, but because of the recent amendments to Section 145 by the government, this motion cannot be entertained, and it was refused. So there are a few problems in this. So what we are trying to do is, and those problems include the fact that the Speaker, who was supposed to be the acting Governor General, but we are informed that he advised Parliament, and he advised ADC, and he advised the relevant officers that he was not well, he was sick, and was not able to perform the role as acting Governor General while the Governor General was out traveling on duty. Now, because of that, the Chief Justice, who is next in line according to our Constitution, went down there and performed the role of acting Governor General. While the Speaker, who is supposed to be on sick leave, was then forced to come into Parliament, obviously just to entertain this particular and deliberate on this motion. So as far as we are concerned, the Speaker has illegally conducted a meeting that he is not supposed to chair. If he was well and he was on duty, automatically he becomes the acting Governor General, and the Deputy Speaker takes over. That's one issue that's now come to light. The second issue is that he's not supposed to conduct any meetings on Thursday. He can only conduct it on Wednesday, and that meeting took place already, and a decision was reached. But of course, the Speaker now conducted a second meeting on Thursday and then rejected the motion. So there is again another issue that needs to be tested in court. So you can see the line that is going on. The Speaker is deliberately misled. He needs to resign. I'm calling on the Speaker that he needs to resign from the position of the Speaker, because he has misled the country, he has misled Parliament, and he has, of course, lied to the nation that he was sick when in fact he was performing his duties. He was performing the duties of a Speaker in Parliament when in fact it was supposed to be done at the Governor General's office. This Speaker and the Prime Minister have continuously undermined the integrity of Parliament, and the Parliament has become just a rubber stamp for the executive government. And of course, Marape and the Speaker continuously have been working closely together, spending hours in the office, colluding, and of course, coming up with decisions that are not in the best interest of the country. So you can see the way that this country is being managed. Over the past few years, you can see that there's a declining in basic services to our people. Health and education are the biggest areas in which there is a lot of challenges. I think, just apart from paying school fees, a lot of the issues around curriculum and materials for the schools and infrastructure for the school, all those things are not being addressed by government, and as a result, the standards of education, the standard of the quality of education that we are giving to our kids has declined considerably over the last 6 or 7 years. And as a result, you can see our kids coming out of the schools are not able to find decent jobs, cannot get into further education because of the quality of the education that they are receiving. Secondly, the basic health care for our citizens is hardly available in many towns and many cities right across the country. In fact, many health centers and clinics and aid posts right across many communities throughout the country is shut down because of lack of staff in those facilities, and also lack of equipment and medical and medicine. A lot of death. In fact, high number of Papua New Guineans are dying in every community and every hospital and every district in town right across the country because the government's inability to provide adequate level of medicines and services that support our health programs right throughout the country. So they are suffering very badly. And the third issue is about our law and order in the country. There are people dying every day because of violence, and governments and the police force and the agencies of law enforcement agencies are not able to even arrest this issue. As a result, you can see that people know that they are not going to be arrested, so they are just committing these crimes right across the country, especially up in the highlands in the provinces of Enga and Ela and some of the other isolated cases in the other towns throughout the country. This is happening on a daily basis. So I think when you look at it, I think you can see that our country is suffering, and I think that it is only appropriate that we challenge this government and hold them accountable for the lack of attention that they're not putting into the services that the people deserve in this country. And of course, our economy continues to struggle, despite the Prime Minister's continuous boasting about this growth of GDP. Now, I want to tell all our viewers and our people listening that GDP numbers do not put food on the table. GDP numbers do not create jobs for Papua New Guineans. And the GDP numbers are certainly not a correct way of measuring the performance and the status of the economy in our country. When you look at our economic data and the performance to date, you can see high interest rates, high level of loans and debt in the country, which is now averaging close to 60% of GDP. Even though with an increased GDP, you look at what he has done is it's virtually more than doubled the number of loans that we left. In 2019 was almost about 26 billion kina, and now we are close to 60 billion kina, and there's nothing to show for it. This is the problem in the country. He hasn't built one major infrastructure that's going to help our economy or deliver services. He has certainly not invested in the public service machinery, which is going to deliver basic services to our people. In fact, our public service structure is totally collapsed, and people are just sitting in jobs and getting paid for doing nothing. As a result, you can see the decline of services right throughout the country, and the economic performance has also not been able to provide the jobs that Marape himself has promised. saying that, of course, agriculture is going to provide 1 million plus jobs in the country. This is not true. It's not happening. You can see that many of our people are not returning to the land because the government's programs that they've put together in trying to support agriculture, whether it's through National Development Bank or Agriculture Bank or Commerce and Industry, those programs have been mismanaged. Probably most of the monies have been misapplied, or they are looking after only few individuals, and the rest of the population is missing out. So the economic performance of our country is certainly not doing very well, and lots of our youth have been on an unemployment line over the last few years, and that number is increasing every year. It's not decreasing; it's increasing every year. So I want to say this: we need to have a government that's going to stabilize and try and stop this decline that is happening in the country. This is why many of our leaders think that we have the right experience for us to address these issues that are persistently that is challenging us in our country. And government has got no ability. Their lack of focus in trying to address these issues is clearly indicated time after time, where, as I said, flowery words and slogans coming through, but the real work on the ground is not happening, and as a result, you can see how people continuously suffering every day. We have, in opposition, have constantly said the IMF program that has been put in place in PNG, it is not delivering in improving the economic performance of our country. It is in fact making our people worse off than they were in 2019. The Kina decline is one area where, as we all know, Papua New Guinea is an import-dependent country. Much of the goods and services we imported into the country, and that means that we are in need of foreign currency to pay for those services. And once we have a Kina that is declining, our purchasing power declines. When purchasing power declines, that means that inflation starts to kick in, and prices of goods and services continues to increase. So when you go down to the shop and you see the prices continuously increasing few months, every few months, you know that because IMF's deliberate strategy of trying to keep the Kina lower value, thinking that all our exports will improve the balance of payments and currency availability in the country. Fair enough, but not every Papua New Guinean is in the export industry. Not every Papua New Guinean is growing coffee or cocoa or copra or oil palm to export, so that they will have that income that you think that IMF is thinking that our people will earn. So I think a translation of that declining of Kina is that it is now increasing cost of living, and Papua New Guineans are continuously struggling to meet that rising cost, because the real wages that we take home at every pay, it has not increased for average Papua New Guinean over the past 6 or 7 years. So you are earning less money, and you're paying more for your goods and services and whatever food and items that you buy at the shops. You're paying more for it for the same amount of Kina. So this imbalance is creating a lot of stress for our Papua New Guinean families, as we are experiencing a huge increase in family population. That pressure just becomes bigger and bigger year in, year out. So I think government's lack of ability in ensuring that they manage these issues is very evident. And you miss our opinions here, they are incapable of addressing these major issues. And as a result, we have a cargo cult mentality. Today, unlike in 2018 and 19, today we are earning more for our gold exports and LNG and oil exports because the prices are really, really good. They are among the highest at any time in the history, in global history. So when you are achieving this kind of prices, Papua New Guinea should be faring very well. But it's because of our incompetence and inability to manage these issues, we are missing out on these opportunities. And if the prices, if the prices, I hope they don't collapse, but if they do collapse, what will happen is that we will have a situation where we were not able to save enough money to meet the downturn, and our challenges will even get worse. Our lack of services and lack of issues like power, water, electricity, all these things will just continuously get worse and worse. So Papua New Guineans' standard of quality of living and standard of living has not improved over the last few years, and I think Marape government needs to be told that enough's enough. Now they're saying we need stability to try and fix all these problems, but my goodness, you've had 7 years in government and you're still trying to fix the problems. They have not made any one impact in any decisions that they are making to try and address in even one single issue, whether it be education or health or law and order. It's across the board in all sectors. Government is struggling to trying to address this. So as I said in my press conference on Thursday after the rejection of the motion, when I put the motion in there, and as I said, some of us are at the end of our career as leaders and in politics, and of course I am putting myself forward to be nominated because I am able to say, okay, now the country is back on track. We've got a good quality of leaders and young ministers who are experienced enough, who can be able to take this country forward. Some of us have said to the other leaders and members of parliament that we will step aside in 2027 so that the younger generation can take over. We've got enough skilled people and experience, both in opposition and some members of parliament, for us to make a big difference in the country. We shouldn't allow continuously Marape to continue to give us lip service. And that's precisely what it's been doing. So I think, first things first is for us is to rebuild confidence in the economy and making sure that some of the programs that we have announced that we should participate in, is that there are some low-hanging programs that I think it'll immediately make an impact. In 2019, the Papua LNG, the deal was signed already. I deliberately tried to sign the deal earlier because I knew very well that Mozambique in Africa had a huge reserve of gas in LNG, and if they had gone ahead of Papua New Guinea, they will develop it and they will secure many of the markets, and we will miss out. So as a result of that, I made sure that we negotiated that deal with Total of France, so that Papua New Guineans can jump ahead on this LNG, and there was an opportunity there in a global LNG market. Unfortunately, for some reasons unknown, and it's just complete madness as far as I was concerned, to cancel a deal that has been done by a government of the day with a big investor that is going to bring a huge investment, 14 to 15 billion US dollar investment in the country, and providing employment for thousands and thousands of Papua New Guineans. Then you have a government trying to renegotiate that. As a result of that renegotiation, inability to close the deal now has cost Papua New Guineans a lot more in revenue, has cost the Papua New Guineans loss of ability to secure jobs, and securing this investment and the cost of doing this LNG production and this project to be built, the cost has escalated, and as a result, the developer is continuously reviving costings before they can go out into the feed states, which is the stage in which they're prepared to go into the construction of the LNG plants. So I think Papua New Guinea missed out on a real opportunity in developing that, and there is no firm scheduled date from the developer saying that, listen, we will start the construction, start this project on this day. As a result, we are missing out on huge possibility of revenues and employment opportunity for our country. The second issue is about Wafi Golpu. Now, when before Newcrest was sold to Newmont, the American mining giant, this agreement with Newcrest was already signed at a Sydney mining conference by our government I think it was in 2018. And again, of course, the current government comes in and then cancels that contract and trying to renegotiate. As a result, the Wafi Golpu project has been delayed now for 6 or 7 years. And again, no conclusion of and those negotiations have been concluded. And as a result of this delay, we are missing out on a huge gold project that we are supposed to be now in production and reaping the benefits of really high gold prices today. We have missed out completely on it. And again, I want to say that you look at the saga in Porgera, it's not in full production as we speak today. The law and order issues are still prevalent out there. It is happening. In fact, if you talk to the employees, I understand that the employees of Porgera joint venture, or Barrick now, the new Porgera, have written to the Prime Minister asking him to address the challenges that they face at Porgera. And again, this is just another madness, that you go and close down an operating mine and now trying to restart the operating mine, you're finding it difficult because of the stupidity, absolute stupidity in, of course, shutting down an operating mine for 3 or 4 years, and again, missing out on all this revenue that we were supposed to get. So the cost to the nation, because of this kind of decisions, now we are facing a huge challenge. Again, I'm very concerned about the way, Rait-TV is a mine that I secured for the nation. It is 100% owned by Papua New Guinea, and it was debt-free. And of course, Marape government is now milking. I'm told that they are securing funding for projects, having access to and forcing Rait-TV to pay dividends ahead of declaration of profits, and Rait-TV has been forced into a debt with BSP to try and meet some of these payments because the government is demanding it. Now, again, we are going to destroy that mine that is very profitable, and we didn't have any debts whatsoever, and producing steady, good income for Papua New Guinea. Because of greed and corruption, they are going to destroy that mine as well. Once we have this kind of management going around, just trying to have access and picking money from all our government institutions, we will end up destroying those institutions. And as a result, in the long term, the country and our people are not going to benefit from these projects whatsoever. So I think, for our economic stability, we need to make sure that these projects are secured, these projects are managed properly, they're independently managed, not managed by political cronies, and of course they have been forced and they have been encouraged to make decisions that will not stabilize the companies going into the future. The second issue is that we need to make sure that these assets that are producing income for the nation are safeguarded. Now you can see the saga that is happening at Kumul Petroleum, and of course Kumul Petroleum is another golden goose that is going to benefit this nation going into the future. That I think this year or next year is the last year that I believe the loans that they go to build the first LNG will be fully repaid. That means that revenue for our country and the other shareholders will continuously increase. Now, what I fear most is that once this increase in revenue coming in, now you can see that the government and politicians and people are positioning themselves to have access to that funds. Now, when we created Kumul Petroleum, we wanted to make sure that appointments of board of directors and things are done independently as possible, and it is on the recommendation of the existing board of directors. Meaning that when the limited number of terms, I think each individual is only to serve for 9 years only. from memory, that was the legislation. After 9 years, they cannot serve any further on the board. They must recommend for other Papua New Guineans to get on the board who have got good standing and have been respected by the people and respected by the community with good business experience and good standing. These are the people that I think who will be able to secure the wealth for the future generation. And I think that it is important that we protect these institutions. And I can see a trend where now government directly trying to go in there to try and grab a hold of these particular funds that are meant for saving for the future generation of our country. And I think we need to continuously again invest in health and education in the country. I think some of the funds that are coming out, these are wealth that is on non-renewable assets that we are going to receive in large sums over the next few years. I think the best way to do is invest. Is much of these funds should be going to invest in education, and that we should be able to invest in a program where we send all our kids to some of the best universities around the world so they can go and get experience and the skills that is necessary for us to utilize to build our nation. And investing in human resource is something that is going to be able to carry our country into the future. All these non-renewable resources will run out, but the human resource will continue to stay. We must skill them properly and making sure that we continue to build their skills and of course their level of education so that their productivity can increase. And I think it is important we do that. Also, we have during our time in government we have built some of the very well-standard health facilities right throughout the country. Some very big hospitals that are capable of now providing global standard medical services to our people. But they are now not being funded well by, of course, our government. And as a result, many of these facilities are now staying idle in many parts. You look at it in Goroka, and you look at it in Wiwek, you look at it in Engau. Engau is running out of medicine all the time. You look at it up in Enga now. These are going to become white elephant, where these buildings and facilities are not been operated and is operational, and as a result, it's not been able to save our people. Now, this is because government is, yes, allocating some money, but they themselves are controlling these little budgets and not allowing the money to go directly to the hospitals. The PHA and all these hospital authority boards and things that we have established all throughout the country, they are meaningless and they become useless if we are not able to give them the resources to operate properly. We have some of the best doctors in the world. Some of them are very experienced, very capable, and make a groundbreaking medical surgeries and operations in the country. They are very capable, but we need to resource them, and that can only come through funding. So I think the government has done us a disservice in making sure that we have these hospitals that we have built. And they're quite capable. And we have strategically built it so that a large chunk of our population can have access to this hospital, like Enga, Goroka, Wiwek, and of course Enga. It is a driving distance for many Papua New Guinea citizens. So majority of our people can access these facilities quite easily. They don't have to drive or for days to get there. They can go there within a few hours to make sure that they are given the right service and the right support and the right attention that people deserve. The other issue is that I feel that our government has completely destroyed the public service machinery by appointing cronies and political affiliate associates and all these people right around the country, where they go in there, they're only serving the political master. They are not serving our people, and they are completely corrupting these institutions. Now you look at our constitutional offices, they are not functioning. Ombudsman Commission is is not been underfunded. They are not able to carry out investigations properly. I think only recently they made a few appointments to try and fill in the number of positions so that it can be fully functional. You look at ICAC, you look at the saga that is going on. Prime Minister himself is directly involved in the interference of the operational of ICAC. I want to say this very clearly. Marape has never had any input in the establishment of the ICAC legislation when we were in government. That work was started under my direction to Karanga Kua, who initially started the work, and it was finished by the Honorable David Stephen, the then member for Esala, when they were Attorney General of our country. When we were in government in 2019, we started to introduce that particular bill, and the first reading was already on motion in Parliament, and then the government changed, so of course, Marape had the second and third reading to just pass it. So he has got no feeling, no attachment to this legislation. All he wants is, he doesn't want to be accountable, he doesn't want to be asked questions, so the weaker ICAC is, the better it is for him. That is how he is now destroying this particular institution. He's not funding them well, and he's now taking sides on the issue about the commissioners. That has got 3 commissioners who are independently can make their own decisions without fear or favor. But instead, of course, Marape and his committee has seen fit to take the side of one commissioner, and the other 2 commissioners have certainly have issues now that are being now debated in public. And this debate is undermining ICAC and its operation. It's undermining ICAC and its operation. And we cannot allow this to continue. And I think that if there's a change of government, I can say that safely say that we will be able to restore the confidence in that. I think one of the main things is that the appointments committee for these institutions and constitutional officers, I think it's now time that we remove political members of parliament to be sitting. The Prime Minister should not be on the appointments committee. Opposition leaders should not be on the appointments committee. The chairman of the parliamentary appointments committee, Governor Ialibu, definitely should not be on the committee, because you can see the compromises that are taking place because politicians are having their say and they don't respect the institutions and their independence. So this kind of things are happening, and this is happening in the police force. It's happening in the, of course, other law enforcement agencies. Then it is happening in the defense force. It's happening in the, of course, ICAC and Ombudsman Commission. All this is just undermining of institutions that should hold political leadership accountable. And I think we all have, under the law, have the right to challenge if we feel that some of these institutions are being unfair and are being influenced by politics and becoming a bit more trying to destroy leaders and things. We all are being protected by law to challenge this in the courts, in the courts, where the courts can determine and say that, listen, okay, am I right? All this line and play legally politics now. There's a kind heavy come up law, work law. But all in all, these institutions have been functioning quite well since 1975, since independence. And I think it's important that no other government has ever interfered in the operations like this current government is doing. No other government since independence. And they have respected the integrity and the independence of these institutions. And I think we need to find a way to make sure that we remove the political involvement in the appointment process. That's one. The second issue is that these killings that are taking place right across the country. It started when Marape took office in 2019, and remember, there were about 22 women and children who were killed in his backyard in the Ela province, in Tari district. Now, he said to everybody publicly that I'm coming after you, I'll arrest you. And today, not one single arrest has taken place. Now, when you, as a leader, you allow that to go unaccounted for, of course, the rest of the citizens are watching how that has been handled. So they know that when they commit similar crimes in their own districts and in their own villages, uh, the likelihood of them being held accountable and being arrested is very, very slim, or even, in fact, non-existent. And as a result, you can see the increase in the wave of really serious crimes like murder and these kind of things happening right throughout the country. Now, this is no way to run a nation. If you have no law and order and there's no security, nobody's going to come and invest in our country. Nobody wants to come and live and work in our country. And as a result, you can see there's been almost zero foreign direct investment in the country. When you have zero foreign direct investment in the country, then where are you going to raise capital? Where are you going to raise money to develop the nation and, of course, grow the economy? Now, and create job opportunities for our people, create business opportunities for our people. We must provide a conducive environment where they have the confidence to come here and invest and live with their families and live among us. And the global village, because of the technology and because of easy way of traveling now that's happening with planes going everywhere, it's becoming smaller and smaller. We are part of that community, and we must be able to participate meaningfully in what is happening around the world. Instead, we're isolating ourselves and we're killing each other, and that's only because we have a government that is not performing, a government that is not able to address the issues because I'm online blamin, I'm supporters blamin, so sabos mi arresti mol, and by usa nungu dolin na supporting me elections. And that's the kind of thing that's overcame. Now you can see that a lot of things are now not functioning well, and there is in fact a decline of order in the country, and the implementation of rule of law is not there, and we are facing these major issues right throughout the country. So I think we need to restore confidence. We need to restore confidence back into institutions of government and the respect for the rule of law. I think if people who are tasked to do this job are not performing, they must be removed. In fact, Prime Minister himself is protecting some of these people because they are going to do him favors. They help him win the elections in 2022. They helped him do all sorts of interference in the counting and voting and all these things. We all know what is happening. It's too late to argue around it, but that is what actually happened, and we all are very aware of it. So I think when we have to clamp down on all these things and restore confidence in the implementation of a rule of law in the country, I think you will see a great confidence. I'm a master ruler, come na. So Papua New Guinea, one of the fifth country na. Mila go na visit the country na, around na, come up tourist or work in business and this is only going to help our country. It's not going to destroy our country. No one thing one laman bakam na sim grand blue you mean ako the sami blue you mean go. No God. As long as they come only invest the country blue you mean astronomy you mean am right. Sabas only karam gaman man na look him marabe you go look at plan the can man but be any member local country. Plan the blow this man. And still man that's all ligam. Only come look some quick money na runaway go lo narblap na working can passing blow. Only go can legally go all business number 2 where it's reserved na all legally man very bla Papua New Guinea working plane and no God all pull up look up. And because you say and boss lo country and work lo easy lo na stop close to what them all na play golf na minasa can or something na na talk no that's like me wrong. Yes, the slab right, the slab you can go, and the slab you cannot go. So interest lo people na interest lo country, all money protect him. So same na is a country stop good. Plan the heavy work lo sanap lo katab lo country because I can see that Mila talk also. You may work, you may Papua New Guinea, you may good pla lo tok na time one la man tro one la lig sweet la tok imi lustin tin lo kada something na tok yeah imi sack up na imi go run na imi walk lo thing also member tomorrow tasol ba imi fix mo kada problem no that o kada success lo life lo imi one or some country or business or anything success am at work tasol ba yuksin you work land by yuksim. Suppose you not put him effort, na you not put him time, na you not manage him good, and by you not achieving the result that you like him land. You know what I'm something and free lo this la country na this la world. No got man by come na togol sa mo please. Me like him you work him all same na. You know can talk na. But by me giving all something lo you nothing. No God, nothing in this world is free. So me lagi das la pasin bela me. Hey, all labun na. Okay, the line bela me la place. All no one bela less man marry. Also me talk business, you know. Me no come up lo one black town or me come up lo one black city na come up also man. No got me stop la place na come up. So me sa look lo. I bela me lo hard work na. Plan strong tin bela man marry la place la look at him family na community. That's like kind person I'm strong through stuff lo. Culture believe you mean, a person believe me, a country believe me. That's all time you mean now looks out and oh, government believe me, but Karamoda something free that's like me and I'm just a kind cargo card mentality. You look at Marabe, I'm to talk linear time I'm government of 2019, I'm talk okay, me got just like DNA blow me here. And by establishing inside the blue blow me fixing country. That's them man. I'm work talk also. That's like I'm all vision blamina. That's like manifesto. I'm calling Marape manifesto. Also, okay, Marape's commandment or something also. Now, you know, achieving one blah blah. That's like commandment too. I'm giaman him you may get. Behind now, I'm going to talk also. No God, by makes him take back PNG. No God, one blah man is still in PNG now. By you may take him back. No God, I'm just like cargo card tin. You know, like to talk walking walk na something na talk by me taking back PNG, by me creating 1 million walk. Now, you know, how much time me minasa you mean lo Papua New Guinea here by sit down na are mo sila gaman toto na talk yeah, I'm only that walking here. And making mo sing me okata all gaman man berita so. Suppose you may believe lo gaman. So I'm meeting also, you know, you may must stop lo. Passing way, you may talk through na at walk na. Country ba come up, you make him proud. Time you me talking about tumbana, blame me labian talk. Me working this la work na country stop good na me. Time me losing life na ego too. But me how much one time na ego so because you saw also more beginning blame me but stop good. So you me learn this la kind of leader work lo continuously run him country blame me also. And but place bagarab na behind beginning blame me actually more hard time. You think also now you me stop now you make some hard time and no God. Hard time blood picking blame will be on time now blame will be on time and but double more yet. So you must think goodness scale him tintin talk also no God all leader must we must hold them accountable. No one lo private business lo one man lo parliament. Government no one lo private business lo one man. Business will look at him man berry na you working work lo man berry. Also no meeting also 7 years. Long time lo marabe working more slow work. Instead, no God, okay, something bagarab, education bagarab, health bagarab, law and order bagarab, public service bagarab, kina bagarab. Economy blow you know providing more work law beginning. Now yet no God, me got good blood vision so now but me got this idea blow reset. One name resetting, one name something. Work na by time you make election time, you all talk walk by talk and Pangia talk walk by talk. Nah, that's like walking to talk so. Gaman to talk nothing here and we go pull up. So meeting also. You may not can learn this kind passing must go yet. You may look lo also background lo marabe too. So marabe walking one the walk na one the walk where emsa look at the man berry look at one the business or one place institution no God. Finish him school then we go straight lo legal work lo public service na behind go straight lo politics. So it's me sorry lem too, because emiat possibly I'm good lamanda so emit admitting also sorry me ba hatlo me olim desla work na one blah 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 pangu try mo desa kan tok no ka no me yet also me working em yusa pasinia passing lo sinan blo mi by go right and passing lo one blah man greedy lo leadership passing lo also all on to power and greedy lo leadership so me appeal lo kada man very also this lo time you stable country here country blow you mean now is stable dangerous level meaning also suppose you may continue this la kind way of management and country blow me bagarab mo yet na ba you mixing plan the heavy low time next 3 or 4 years time but you looking maybe by go worse and worse every time hablo one blah money controlling because you saw okata man side got tintin or something and you may one or two man and level experience man inside lo countries 11. So me talking lo give him all some all young me talking all napla party leader and all member of the parliament also. True me country giving me opportunity to come up prime minister lo it play na me trying very best blow me some la time all man very maslo me too na time all talk also masenis me resign na me put me go down and me give him lo outside member lo taripuri because me aram totok lo man very you saw lo 2017 only give him mandate lo PNC na lo me that's all no got me to gamora me by bimba lusim so time me sinana look lo desla meeting also atin marabe mas na take stock of what I'm standing me working now toto me working land na to alright let me now so me sawe also country you need him experience also na me time all berta inside the parliament all sister lo parliament all talk also listen you try lo this lo work me talk right me try me but me talk me working lo also me like all in prime minister's position na me sleep na kerab na diriman na talk also no gat pito ni you to so much sibes lo work no gat Ibla try lo game lo narbla mata solisa like lo parliament but suppose you mean send si marape na me kama prime minister lo next VONC come up time me can talk sa also but me non absanable election lo 2027 because lo me yet me stopping sa lo parliament because marape working group lo work lo managing country also na me stop inside lo parliament yet no can me resign finish na yo because this country giving me opportunity to run in country. Me no like man lo country thing also me desperate lo in power no ga. But me put him country back lo good way na make sure so 2027 election come up lo good way because me yet I mean not candidate. So all man very much got free na good play election so all can mark him all man all got believe land. All man society got worry lo country na worry lo all man very. And that's like an election come up time. And by right. Suppose marape start yet na yung 2027 election, morat ba mi go back lo Ialibu Pangia na. Ba mi ask him all man very lo upside suppose only bill lo me only can vote me. Na suppose only talk all sempidoni lemena. You go malolo, ba mi go malolo, morat. Me no got one problem lo desla. So me like talk sa lo plan or support us blame inside the country also online blame lo PNC and all something. Imi stable transition mode so suppose good way na government is na imi stabilizing country by me making sure some party blame too by got smooth transition so that usad man by leading me go election and by you can sit down good na story na you may agree na one man by leading you go upside but me yet also in good also suppose me step out na me work in election fair so that all man very also no got me yet the minna precis law come a prime minister or forming government so M can conduct one play election law fair and free way so M lo this last me give him assurance equal all honorable member of the parliament especially all land side like come a prime minister me like you black all election like mandate na ka also 2017 PN6 mandate but all young player you work lo sekrap na me to warat me resign okay, me and me pinisim na suppose me stabilizing country na put him the good road na yung election I think by you me thing also by you must come up and good passing where on man very elect him online outside the Hamas land so me like talk sawe also you must stabilize in country blo yumi. Me working this la commitment because me got worry lo country blo yumi. Isa ino got narla country yumi okata like go na by you got second country by yumi go stop no got me bla ba stop la here na die na stop la place. Suppose me finish time big money single yumi go na yumi finish time me bla like him country must stop good. Me bla love him country blo me bla. Me sa also him okata line the citizen blo country blo yumi love him country blo yumi. Plenty blo young player only like die land or stuff, you know. So me sa also you play all people too. You play by I'm a Maslow. You make a good government, and we play try best law. You may work in sending some government so you working. So Miss Hours by you got test him this law court. Tomorrow by a line blame me or lawyers blame me by put him over the paper inside the courthouse. Me play he talk also this law amendment. Yes, I may stop, but and this law in first motion you go inside law. You may test him this law amendment. Na governor blo ECB to karam this la amendment blo section 145 blo vote of no confidence equal also court. So court too now sana blo ready lo working decision. That's a decision too but come up. But lo separate issue blo this la specific motion of no confidence now you may to talk but you may go inside lo courthouse now but you may test him because motion that's like you nominate him say Peter Ipatas before. Bianim all law na yumi working land. So court you talk all right. Again, there's the committee, blow speaker, again interfere na gaman na bagarabim there's la notice of the motion lo come up la notice paper na all man Mary in up la vote land but only bagarabim so but court you restore him land lo bianim all law. Lo nupla law nupla motion you may put him inside. In up you may vote land to solve. You saw it also marape wanting speaker tupla collude na tupla gaman also one play in up come up Governor General no come up na gaman na come lo parliament has me play you got tribe la to talk inside the parliament too. But you saw one all this la big man work lo influence him na gaman na passing lo working no good passing lo all in power ya. I mean one la good la something la country. We you know leaders must respect na talk also more. That's like in time you may lose him na lara mol nar play working and there's a kind thing must come up you may all the leader. He not gonna come up where one man like all onto power so desperately. One blalo public talk also me welcome him challenge so you black haram number you black ham na challenge me na underneath lo table run na try and stop him you know and there's like an gaman to talk where you know some of the time calling Bible verse close to na there's a kind person blow gaman all leadership and me play you know hamamas na meeting also you may look land na but you may karab na look lo where you may stop land me sawe also you may try best all in this government blow today accountable and motion of no confidence and maybe one play way you may challenge him or challenge him but ensure him or some government of the day he work him right decision right way manage him country blow you may make him sure some more beginning blow you may got good future so me I'm a master also you may sit down this night and you may talk me to thank you through all the viewers now all the line society participate one the meal or this time where you may got this to talk where you may can engage meaningfully one time all viewers but you may right across the country. Thank you too much you play come joining me this night. Me sawe also yes country you may got plenty problem the plenty habit as all you may got one unique beautiful country inside the world. You know got not country or some country blame me. God is giving me one good chance make him sure some you may look at him country blame me. I think you saw plenty or legally kai man run working kind talk na kind gossip that's the kind person I mean no good blah. Give me saw well side man usad work working plenty noise run inside the country. And that's the kind man in an ablo tanem ground na heaven. and people like him or leaders in Ablo, son up strong na look at him on man Mary inside the country. You mean me, I'm must read. Also, you play Sudan good one that mean God blessing you blow water. Me sa Wales and you mean by continuous law exchange some tintin over the next few days. But time court case start looks in paper. You mean that's la challenge where application where you working law court law working on decision. Me thing also by you may you go right. So take it through law. You play stuff but me continuously updating over the line. Lo this la totok where court working land some decision progress you working on. Thank you through. God bless him you blogger. Na please thank you again. Lo you play come joining me lo this time lo this evening. Good night through. Thank you very much.